3 industries died on my computer this morning. I fired my web developer, I canceled my marketing agency, and I shut down the systems I used to organize my business. Not because I hired better people, because AI replaced them in about 2 hours. This is the basics of Claude Cowork and the basics of Claude Code. And this Claude Ultimate tutorial is going to show you exactly how. Claude Cowork organized thousands of files, contracts, videos, and documents, while I literally sat there drinking coffee watching it work. Then Claude Code built a live landing page, connected my CRM, wrote a 31-page buyer guide, and automated the back end from a conversation. No coding, no team, no endless Slack messages, pretending people are circling back, just outcomes. And here's the dangerous part. Most people still think AI is a chatbot. They have no idea the operating system shift already happened. By the end of this video, you're either going to feel wildly ahead of everyone else or sick to your stomach, realizing how much time, money, and momentum you've wasted doing things the old way. I'm going to teach you guys some basics on Cowork really quick because we could do this forever. We'll do more of these. I don't mind. But I'm going to start with work in a project. So it's going to ask me, what do I want to work in? And I can choose a folder. So it's going to open up folders, and let's just go downloads. I think I probably got a lot of stuff. So you'll see when I have stuff in my downloads folder, you guys, I will historically throw them into organize. That way they don't get mixed in with new stuff that I'm downloading, right? So there's quite a lot of stuff in my downloads folder. So I can choose downloads and I can click open. And this is something that I think is important for all of you guys as you learn. Every time you give Claude access to something, it's going to ask you to allow it or to always allow it. I would tell you guys to always only use the allow button until you've learned Claude. And here's the reason why. If I select always allow right now, Claude will always have access to this folder. Now, this is my downloads folder, so I'm not really worried about it. But if this was my coaching folder or a really important folder, I don't want to give Claude always allow access to it because Claude may do something stupid without you knowing it, delete all your files. Right? And then we ran out of room, so I deleted all your files. You're welcome, coach. That's what Claude would say. And we don't want that happening because you might freak out a little bit, right? So until you've learned what you're giving it access to, you guys just hit the allow button for now. So I'm going to say allow, right? And what I can say now, it's going to create a morning brief, clarify next steps, verify comp. I can select something that's already here. Help me organize these files. So I gave it access to my downloads and I just told Claude to help me organize these files. And now Claude's going to go into that downloads folder and take a look. And then it's going to ask me some questions. Now, when I did this with my main documents folder, the first time I used Claude Cowork, I think there was 6,000 documents in my documents folder, just so you guys know. And it gave me this list and then it asked me, how do you want me to do things? Right? So what it just did for me now is I've got 10 book branding covers. We're making different covers for the book, right? I've got 2 miscellaneous images, 2 PDFs, a doc, an MP4, and then a subfolder with 149 items that are untouched, right? Before I do anything, right, it's going to ask me downloads only, downloads plus organize, full sweep and cleanup. So I'm going to say full sweep and cleanup. How should I structure the folders? By product, by file type, by project and type inside. Let's just go project and type inside, move or copy. Let's do a dry run first. Now Claude's going to go through all 160 of those files and reorganize them. Here's what I did with my folder, just so you guys know, with my coaching folder. I said, reorganize everything, rename everything. I want you to start with this structure, date first, subject, and place, or something like that. I also gave Claude access to 300,000 images in my photography folder and had it reorganize that. It took it about 3 hours to do that one. It was a little bit longer, but I had a really clean file structure when it was all done with all of my photos organized and chronicled and really easy to find. So here's what Claude's going to do: a full suite plan below. Nothing's been moved yet. This is a proposed tree for me to approve and execute. So it's going to say to delete this hub desktop, right? Crazy simple YouTube book covers, put them in these folders, addendum. It's going to give me all of this stuff. And before I execute, it's going to ask me if it should delete some stuff or give them the green light. And I just say, go. And now it's going to go do everything that I just asked it to do. Now, you guys, I realize that this is in my downloads folder and I'm not worried about it deleting anything in my downloads folder. If you guys are doing this on your desktop or on your Google Drive, be a little bit more precise. Talk to Claude a little bit more about what you want. Say, hey, give me the best naming convention. Give me the best folder structure. As it's doing this kind of stuff, I can show you guys what it ends up looking like. So the way we ended up with mine, and this is a very big drive. We have coaching, speaker training, YouTube, business mountain builders, our van life, Nav Pros. I've got all of the folders numbered and laid out pretty decently. So it's really easy for me to find. And it just made a beautiful structure for me with all of my documents and renamed all my documents that I wanted renamed. By the way, it also said something pretty important to me is you've got a bunch of documents in here from like 2012 in my coaching folder, like 2012 to 2018. Do you want these still? And I'm like, yeah, no, throw them away. Any documents that I made between 2012 and 2018 are no longer relevant in my coaching, you guys. Right? So for me, let's get rid of all those, right? And that's what it did. It went and executed all of that. So that's one of many things that you guys can do with Claude Cowork. Claude Cowork will give you another example. Let's go ahead and stop this one. Let's do a new task, right? We could say, I want you to research the top real estate channels, the top real estate websites in the nation. I want you to find out which real estate websites get the most traffic. I want you to figure out exactly why they're getting the most traffic. And I want you to help me design a plan to build a website that's going to beat all of them. Claude Cowork's going to go out on the web. It's going to do all that stuff. It's going to put together a complete plan. And when that plan's done, it's going to come back with you like, okay, would you like to implement that plan today? And you can say, yes, let's implement that plan today. Or like I said, let's set up my morning briefing, or let's verify these things. These are all of the things that Claude Cowork can do, and many more. Right now, we just switched to Claude Teams, and I think that's going to be the best. And the reason I think Claude Teams is going to be the best is because we will be able to share our stuff that we want to share with our team members, and we'll be able to access the stuff that they're working on. It can be a big challenge, and I'm going to show you guys what I mean by that. When you're working in code, and I'm going to show you guys code here in a second, it's very common for you to have a local drive that has all of the data of what you're working on. So code creates a drive that it has access to, and then it has a memory for this entire conversation called the Claude.md, and it has access to a bunch of stuff that you've said yes to. So if I try to share this with somebody and they're not in a team Claude, it becomes very difficult. I actually built this one for us. I'm going to show it to you guys here in a second in a demo. But this entire plan was on another computer, and I had to move everything from this computer to this computer. So I had to create a document. I had to upload everything to a Google Drive, its entire history. I had to update its soul, basically, and all of its memory to a Google Drive. And then I had to go into this Claude and say, hey, go to this repo and look at this and understand this so we can use the documents and the data that's there, and we can build from there. In this particular case, I'm going to show you guys what this did, because I think that will be helpful. What I did, Mr. Nick, are working on a project on YouTube that's going to be doing Cabo property tours. And we're going to feed those YouTube leads to this Living in Cabo website. And I created this, Nick and I are working together to create this website. And what I wanted to do for you guys was show you how easy it is to make a landing page in Claude. But to do that, I wanted it to have access to this website first, so it had all this data. If that makes sense. So I taught Claude with this. I pointed it to all of that data, and that's what I did in this version of Claude Code, right? And so all of a sudden it has all of that data. And then I told Claude, I said, okay, what I want to create a lead magnet for for what we're going to sell on this website or what we're going to deliver on this website. So Claude says to me, okay, what kind of lead magnet do you want? That's what we're talking about right here. And I said, let's make up a property guide, like everything that expats or foreigners need to know about buying in Mexico. And I want to make it super, super detailed. And I want we're going to create a landing page that we take them to capture their information in Follow Up Boss and send them this lead magnet. I'm guessing that's something that everybody here needs to do in some portion of their business today. All of you should be on Instagram and YouTube. All of you should have lead magnets on your website to capture people. You should all be offering a ton of value, right? So Claude Code says, okay, where do you want this data? And I said, I've written 3 or 4 blog posts on it. There's a bunch of blog posts on Nick's site. So I gave it all of the data and I said, create the lead magnet. So Claude says, okay, let me go create it. So this is the guide that it made. It's a 31-page guide on buying property in Mexico. And it literally just gives you everything you could possibly want to know if you're a foreigner trying to buy property in Mexico. It's the complete 2026 guide for Americans and Canadian buyers. And pretty much everybody that comes to my website is going to want it, and I'm going to be giving it to them for free because I'm all about giving. So once it created this guide, I said, okay, now that you have the guide, let's create a landing page. So what Claude went and did, Claude Code, they said, okay, what do you want on the landing page? So I said, I want you to follow Russell Brunson's format of .com secrets and ClickFunnels. And I want you to have a really good call to action. I want you to create a great landing page that is aligned with our website. And I want you to post the landing page online. And it said, where would you like this landing page? And I said, let's do a subdomain. So we created guide.livingincabo.com. I don't understand how to make a landing page. So Claude says, okay, here's what I need you to do. I need you to go to your web provider. Let's say it's GoDaddy. And let me give you step-by-step directions. And I need you to go to your website, go to your DNS, and I want you to create this in your DNS. And I'll show you what we did really quick. So after Claude told me that, my web provider for this is my server, is my DNS. It says you need to go create CNAME, right? And when you create this CNAME, you need to create guide, living in Cabo. And this is what you need to create. And so I followed its directions, exactly what it said to do. You guys would probably be doing this in GoDaddy. And the minute that I did that, the minute that I just went like this, selected CNAME, wrote guide, pasted what Claude told me to paste here, and clicked add, it gave me step-by-step directions, like I'm a 5th grader. Claude said, okay, great, I see it. You're good to go. It's up. So instantly I go here, guide.livingincabo.com, and there's the landing page. Done. And I said, okay, that's a beautiful landing page. I love what you did. Can you fix this or can you fix that? I had to make a bunch of fixes. And I said, okay, where are we going to take this landing page? And Claude knows that I have Brevo and Go High Level and Follow Up Boss and Sierra. And it said, where do you want to take it? I said, let's take it to Follow Up Boss. So I'm just having a conversation with Claude, you guys. And if we come back to this, you'll see this conversation happening over and over again. The reason I'm not doing it live with you guys is because this took me an hour and a half this morning. So I wanted to make it for you guys. I would love to do it live for you, but I'm just going to walk you through exactly what I did. And then Claude just says, okay, this is done. The brand tokens are done. The 31-page branded PDF is done. Your landing page is done. Here's what's next. And I said, great, if I give you the API to Follow Up Boss, can you build it? And it says, yeah, give me the API to Follow Up Boss. So I've said, okay, fantastic. Here's the API. That somebody asked me this earlier. I went to Follow Up Boss. I went to API. I said, create an API, call it guide, living in Cabo. It gave it to me. Boom. I give it to it. Okay, everything worked on my end. I created a new contact ID and Follow Up Boss, name, phone number, email, with a note attached to download, timestamp, and source the URL. So now every single new lead that comes in gets into the right drip campaign and immediately gets an email with the guide. Is that stuff that you guys think you can do? This is easy stuff. I know it sounds hard, but it's easy.
Claude Code is not the future. It is right now. Every day you wait is another day your competitor figures this out before you do. Hit subscribe and drop a comment below. What would you build first if you had Claude Code doing the work?